Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious morning. Yeah, how you doing? Good, great, amazing, incredible? Yes. It could be whatever you want it to be. Remember everything around you, what's happening in your life, what somebody says, what somebody does, what you've done, all of it. It's fundamentally meaningless. Just is. Remember, nothing is good or bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. And you, me, all of us, we've been given that gift to give meaning to whatever that is. And that, whatever that meaning is, leads us onto a vibratory state. And that vibratory state is the attractive, the repulsive force in our life. It determines our reality. It's so important to get that your reality has nothing to do with the facts, that it has to do with the meanings you give those facts. And again, full circle comes back to you're the one who gets to decide what those meanings are. And that right there is the most amazing, profound truth that you could ever grab onto if you use it. See, that's the key component, isn't it? You got to use it. You got to apply it. So use it. All right. So here we are again in this wonderful, beautiful call. You should have your pretty awesome, amazing, cool gold card with you. Okay. Make sure that you're synced with it. And then also you should have this beautiful book, The Master Key System by Charles Haanel. And you should be underlining it, highlighting it, taking lots of notes, and then also make sure that you get this other book, The Subconscious Code, which will help you to organize your thoughts and give you a really good picture of your mind. And if you want a link to where you can get both of these books, then just check out in the chat, or we'll send it to you in the WhatsApp. And by all means, make sure that you get it and that you use it. All right, so let's dive into this. Let's go into where we are in this wonderful, beautiful world of our mind. Go ahead and switch this over. And here we're on page 99 in this book, The Master Key System. And we went over this yesterday, but we'll go over this again. And the question is what is the secret of power? And remember what the answer is? Well, it's very simple. It's service. It's service. So you want power, provide service, but don't just provide any service. Provide exceptional service. When you're thinking of the goal that you seek, you got to remember that you getting here is going to be you providing service. Remember what Earl Nightingale shared about the law of compensation, which is cause and effect? The amount you earn will always be in direct proportion to these three things. Number one, the need for what you do. Number two, your ability to fill that need. There it is, service. And number three, how difficult it would be to replace you. Now, again, notice how that law is rooted and connected to that principle. And isn't it interesting and beautiful how Charles now points out here that that power, that secret of power, is in the heart of service. Think about, for instance, Amazon. Is it interesting how they have a tremendous amount of power? Why? Because of the service they provide, and they're really, really good at it. And it's the same thing for everything. Now, why is this so? Because we get what we give. The secret of receiving is giving. Now, when you're thinking about your goal and the changes that you seek on the outside, are you locking into these two beautiful statements here? Well, if you're not, lock into it now. Service. giving. Now, what is silence? Silence is a physical stillness. It's so interesting how he points out it's not a mental stillness, it's a physical stillness. Now, why is that the truth? Well, think about this. Just sit here right now. I want you to just physically sit still for just a moment. Like put your pen down and just sit still. What do you notice? See, what follows from that is a mental stillness if you are allowing yourself to be in this state of a physical stillness. And that right there will help you tremendously to be able to think properly. Now, of what value is it? It is the first step to self-control, self-mastery. Now, this is so interesting how he's pointing this out because Tony Robbins talks about this. He talks about how your physiology is directly linked to your psychology and how you can use the control of your physiology to lead your psychology to the way that you would love things to be. And what does he say to do? You know what? Just enter into the state, the physical state of how you would love things to be. He points out if you want to feel confident, just sit up and maintain the posture of confidence. And isn't that interesting how when you do that, I mean, just do that right now. Sit up with an incredible amount of confidence. You know what that looks like. And you know what's interesting? If you'll sit there and hold it long enough, what happens is your psychology will start to move towards that. So your subconscious mind will see that that's what you have made important. And then we'll say, oh, well, it's important. Remember, your subconscious mind is a loyal servant, but it's not loyal to you. It's loyal to what you've made important. It'll say, okay, well, I guess you want to feel confident. You want to think those confident thoughts, and bam, let's start to show up. Everything that's in harmony with that. And you can do that. You can do that with leading yourself into right thinking by holding your body still. There is nothing truer than that the quality of thought which we entertain correlates certain externals in the outside world. This is the law from which there is no escape. And it is this law, this correlative of the thought with its object that from time to time immemorial has led the people to believe in special providence. Isn't it interesting how he's pointing out how your thoughts are the starting point that lead to your feelings, then your actions, then your results. He doesn't say that directly, but that's basically what he's pointing out. If you want quality outcomes, you've got to have quality thoughts. And guess who gets to choose whether or not you have quality thoughts? Go like this, point to yourself. Me, me, it's right here. Right here. It's you. You're the one that gets to choose that. Think about that. The quality of your thought is what's going to determine the externals in your outside world. If you think, I can't, I'm not good enough, guess what's going to show up in the outside world? If you think I can, I'm more than good enough. I'm capable of incredible feats. Guess what will show up in your outside world? Exactly that. Why? Because we become what we think about most of the time. Because thought externalizes itself. Write that in your notes. Thought externalizes itself. Remember, thoughts are things. Thoughts are energy. Thoughts are the magnets that attract to us the very things that we think. And you have that power to think whatever you want. You're the sculptor. You get to shape that thinking substance, of which is the only creative force in this world. He points that out in these beautiful questions and answers. See, that's the true essence of you. You don't need to concern yourself so much with what's happening now. What you need to concern yourself is how you would love things to be, and then get emotionally involved with that in your heart. And then crowd out all of the things that are not in harmony with that. And then from there, that's when the creative process will be externalized. But see, this is where you must imagine those things. This is where you've got to become one with this, whatever this is for you. And that's what he's pointing out here. Part 5. This part tells how the subconscious processes are continually at work, and it tells how we may consciously direct this work instead of being mere passive recipients of its activities. Remember, the conscious mind, your conscious mind, my conscious mind is always working on something, which is why it's so important for you to lock into really big, great, beautiful things before you slumber. Because it's going to work on whatever you leave it with. And whatever you leave it with is what you've made important. It tells how we may have a vision of a destination to be reached, the dangers and pitfalls to be avoided. It tells how the word has become the flesh, how we are constantly creating and recreating ourselves. You know what's interesting when you think about you right here, right now? You're a completely different person than you were a year ago in terms of their physical body. Oh my gosh, this physical body that you're engaging with right now is not anywhere near the same physical body that you had a year ago. Matter of fact, it's completely new compared to what it was before. That was something that was crazy to get